Merci, cher Joël, Minister Lightbound. Good morning, everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. Just last month, I had the privilege of announcing His Majesty's approval of Canada's new Governor-General, Her Excellency, the Right Honourable Louise Arbour. And I ended those remarks with the same point that I'm going to begin my remarks today with. I quote, "At a time when much of the world is buffeted by crises, Canada's history, our institutions, and our traditions matter more than ever. And while these foundations are expressed in language, practiced in custom and convention, and enshrined in law, they can also take physical form. They can be made of timber and stone, stand as landmarks, as testaments in which we recognize ourselves. Dans un monde bouleversant, ces lieux nous donnent des repères. Ils nous recentrent et nous rappellent les valeurs qui nous unissent. Ils nous permettent de rester fidèles à ce que nous sommes pendant que le monde autour de nous évolue. 24 Sussex is nearly as old as our country. First built in 1868, it sits on a rise above the meeting of three rivers, the Ottawa, the Rideau, and the Gatineau. Home to 10 of Canada's prime ministers, as Mr. Lightbaum just said, from Louis Saint Laurent, Stephen Harper. For more than 75 years, this House has welcomed leaders from around the world, including Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, Sir Winston Churchill, President John F. Kennedy. 24 Sussex Drive is more than a residence. It's greater than a mere backdrop to history. It's a symbol of the public office of the head of our federal government and of the democratic traditions that office represents. And yet, it has not been cared for with the respect that it deserves. And after decades of deferred maintenance and neglect, this House sits empty. It's been uninhabitable for more than a decade. Now, for years, many have agreed that 24 Sussex should be saved, but it was left to language, and so the damage spread, and the repair costs climbed. And now it's in critical condition. So today, our government is acting to renew this building, restore this institution, preserve our history, protect our heritage and traditions for generations to come, because that continuity matters. A nation is more than the people who live in it today. It includes everyone who came before us and everyone who will come after. Our institutions are how we carry forward what we were given and how we pass that on, at least intact, ideally improved, to those who follow. 24 Sussex Drive is one of these institutions, and we will not let it crumble. We will set it right. Today, we're launching a national design and build competition to restore 24 Sussex Drive, to become, once again, a secure, accessible, and sustainable official residence and a working venue for Canada's future prime ministers. We will do this in a manner that reflects the very best of Canada. Et pour obtenir ce qu'il y a de mieux, il faut faire appel aux meilleurs talents. C'est exactement ce que nous allons faire. Le concours de conception-construction qui vise à rénover le 24 Sussex sera ouvert aux entreprises canadiennes pour que le savoir-faire, le talent et l'excellence du Canada soient au cœur même de ce projet. L'Institut royal d'architecture du Canada aidera à définir les paramètres du concours et réunira une jury indépendant composé de Canadiennes et de Canadiens d'exception, des chefs de file en architecture, en conservation du patrimoine et en conception. Il sera présidé par Moshe Safdie, l'un des architectes les plus respectés au monde. Un grand merci à vous, monsieur. Celui qui a signé le Musée des Beaux-Arts du Canada, bienvenue, monsieur Genet. Le Library Square à Vancouver, le Habitat 67, cette audacieuse prouesse architecturale réalisée à l'occasion de l'Expo 67 et plusieurs d'autres à travers le monde. We are calling for proposals that are ambitious, achievable, and cost-effective. The competition will be open to eligible Canadian firms, putting Canadian design excellence at the center of the project. As I said, the Royal Architectural Institute of Canada, drawing on its expertise supporting major architectural competitions, will provide advice on the competition framework, establish an independent jury of distinguished Canadian experts in architecture, heritage conservation, and design. Chaired by Moshe Safdie, one of the world's most celebrated and accomplished architects, the jury will provide the key input to make the proposals and make their recommendation. To assess the proposals and to make their recommendation to Cabinet. The winning team will be responsible both for the design and the reconstruction of 24 Sussex, so they will need a credible, disciplined plan to see it through. A plan to bring the building to life on time, and to a standard worthy of the country that it serves. So we're turning to the country's most innovative architects, designers, and builders for solutions to find the most ambitious, exciting, and affordable solutions. The winning proposal will be announced by Canada Day next year. Afin de réduire encore plus le coût pour le gouvernement, la Fondation Rideau Hall mènera une campagne nationale de financement avec pour objectif de recueillir la totalité ou la majeure partie des fonds nécessaires à la réalisation de ce projet. Cette initiative offrira aux Canadiennes et aux Canadiens et aux organisations philanthropiques de partout au pays l'occasion de contribuer directement au renouveau de lieux emblématiques qui appartiennent à chacun d'entre nous. I would like to express my personal and deep gratitude to Prime Ministers Stephen Harper and Jean Chrétien for advocating for the renovation of 24 Sussex as the residence of the Prime Minister. I would also like to thank Prime Ministers Joe Clark, Kim Campbell, Paul Martin, and Justin Trudeau, who, together with Mila Mulrooney, have expressed their support for this renovation. As with everything our government undertakes, it's not just about what we build, it's about how we build and why we build. 24 Sussex will be built by Canadians for Canadians. Nos institutions ne restent pas fortes et vivantes par elles-mêmes. Chaque génération doit faire le choix et les renouveler, de réparer ce qui a été négligé et de renforcer les fondations sur lesquelles les générations à venir vont s'appuyer. C'est le choix que nous faisons aujourd'hui. Et nous allons le faire à la canadienne, en misant sur le talent, le savoir-faire et l'excellence du Canada. Now, while 24 Sussex is a symbol of the office it serves, it must also be a home. And the women and men who will lead our country in the future will need a residence for their families. I may not look like it, but my kids are already grown. And I will never, in any event, live in 24 Sussex Drive. But future Prime Ministers will undoubtedly need to raise their children here as they lead our country. So we'll restore it so they may do so safely and securely. In the end, I and all public officials are stewards of the offices we hold. We don't own them. We serve them to serve Canadians. And we have a responsibility to leave things better than we found them. Notre responsabilité n'est pas seulement de respecter celles et ceux qui occuperont ces fonctions après nous. Nous avons aussi un devoir envers les Canadiens et Canadiennes, celui de préserver et de renforcer les institutions qui leur appartiennent. Let me close with this. Canadians rightly expect their leaders to take decisions where the benefits may only be realized long after they're in office. And this is the type of decision we're taking today, because good stewardship demands it, and because Canadians rightly expect it, and because the future of our institutions, all our institutions, depends on us leaving them better than we found them. We have to apply that principle comprehensively, not selectively.